Hi Aries, and welcome to your November 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign in November. So very interesting energies coming in for you, Aries. We have at the beginning of the month your ruling planet of Mars still retrograde in Aries, and by the middle of the month it's going to be moving direct. So I feel that you will be in the same motion as you're coming into November. You might still need to be looking back over things. You might still be needing to process and solve certain, things that might still feel off. But by the middle of the month, you're going to be feeling much more accepted, and you're going to be feeling a lot more momentum right at your beck and call. So yes, Aries, we've got a few things to talk about for you coming into this month. So there's something that's just a touch frustrated for your energy, and it makes sense. We've got, as I was talking about the retrograde, having that square Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, also having Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. It does feel a bit frustrating to me, and it feels like you've got a few things that need to maybe be finished up or tied up more. So probably by the time you're listening to this reading, a lot of that stuff might already be in order. But there is something that is maybe a bit tired. There's something that is a bit maybe overcooked or overdone or overfocused. And now you're really going to see in November some of the things that have maybe gone by the wayside. And it's not all bad. It's a great, great opportunity for you to really reclaim those things and to decide how you want to move forward. I think that Aries, especially by the middle of this month, can make some of the best decisions they've made in a long time. I feel that Aries can really find so much gratitude for the things that are going right. And through that, it feels like you're going to really come into contact with a higher level of motivation than what you've had in a while. But it's going to be really important, Aries, to look back over the last few months or over, especially since like the beginning of October, and see what has worked well and what hasn't, and really start to focus on what's working well. So in your reading, you've got the Chariot and the Hierophant as your two major arcana cards coming up. So yeah, you're really wanting forward motion. I mean, it makes sense, Mars retrograde and going direct in your sign, but it's not just, super physical. It's like you want to really start to feel better about certain things. You want to really start to have a spiritual connection with most things that you're doing in your life. And November will really help you to pull that together and to start to spiritualize even more of what you are focusing on. So also, I'm thinking that you've got some dealings with other people, or you've got relationships really coming into focus in November. Five of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Three of Cups. It feels like there are a lot of people involved, or a lot of people connecting to you energetically. And it could even be that you've still got some lingering ties to people or lingering energetic connections that are not reciprocated in the physical. So this is interesting. I haven't felt this type of energy in quite a long time, actually, but it makes sense with the retrogrades, where you might still be connected to people from the past, or you might still be connected to people that you have no dealings with right now. And you'd be surprised maybe at how much of your energy is still flowing to them through the energetic line, despite not having any physical ties. So this could definitely be a month, during Scorpio season especially, where Aries maybe cuts some of those ties, or I think it's really good to think of anybody who these thoughts evoke. Who might I still be connected to? Who am I still thinking of all the time but have no physical correlation with anymore? It's good to think of them and to hold a very clean, pure space. And what I like to do is I like to imagine that line, and I like to say, okay, if there's anything here that is not good or is not a kind energy, I want it to be cut off. And I kind of imagine it being cut off, but with the intention and with the condition that it's only cutting off things that are not positive or not conducive or helpful, okay? Because it's pretty interesting to see this Scorpio season with all the Capricorn energy, how much some people can disdain others, how much some people can, without even realizing it, want other people to fail or want other people to, have that tough karmic experience. And that's why we need as little connecting lines as possible, I think, because you never really know who wishes you well and who doesn't. You can, like with the people closest to you in your life, really get an idea for it, but we can never really know about some of the people from the deep past or some of the people that we've not even had a lot of correlation with. Sometimes we don't even know how they still think about us, and they might more than we think or less than we think. So that's why it's such a good time to ritualize in Scorpio season. First 2 weeks, especially of November, a type of cutting of or disconnection from old lines that have no physical significance anymore. So let's talk a little bit about that physical significance. I just love this dialogue. When people are not in your physical space, so think of having someone in your life who you're thinking a lot about, and it also kind of counts if you're like talking to them on the phone or if you're having communication. In this paradigm, that's kind of like having people in your physical space. So I'm not considering those people so much, but who I'm talking about is people that you have no communication with, people who you're not speaking to or who are not in your physical space. Yet there's a lot of thought, or they're being evoked, or you're remembering them, and there's no context. This does feel really prevalent right now, and it feels really drastically important that Aries really work on this and cut off some of these lines and ritualize it. Because if they're not in your physical space, if you're not communicating with them, but they're being evoked in your mind, that's kind of like being bound. That's kind of like evil eye type of stuff. So it's very likely that they might be thinking poorly, or that they might be trying to sort of leech off of your energy without you knowing it. And it's especially if they're evoking a negative reaction. So like exes of the past, or, people of the past that have had a difficult tie. If you're positively remembering somebody, maybe you should reach out. Maybe you should see what's going on. That can be dicey too. But if it evokes a positive, nice feeling, it would be good to get to the bottom of what that might represent for you. But it feels like a very potent and very solid for Aries to get clear on who is taking up the space of their mind this month. Also, it's going to be a great time to network. It's going to be towards the end of the month, getting into Sag season, a great time to make new connections and new ties, actually. And a really good time to emotionally change how you think about connective ties, or how you think about emotional ties too. But let's talk a little bit about the week-to-week Aries. In the first week of November, you've got 5 of Wands rooted down by the Chariot. So the sense of like battle, or the sense of a battle within a war or something, is the energy that I'm feeling there. And you want to get out of it. You want to no longer be in this like battle mode. You don't want to be seeing your life every day as another battle. Something is a bit inharmonious. Something is a bit too difficult, or more difficult than it has to be. Okay, and that's important to see. Mars retrograde in your sign, it doesn't happen often, so you're really looking back at what is kind of mangled, or what is not working harmoniously. And in the first week, you can really make an executive call, and with the energy of the Chariot, you can make that change, or you can move into smoother territory if you would like. You've also got 6 of Swords in the reading, so when those 2 cards come up, the Chariot and the 6 of Swords, it definitely says to me like a move, or a change in mindset, or a big shift in self. So prepare for that. Week number 2, you guys have the 6 of Pentacles rooted down by King of Cups. So emotional debt, that definitely comes up, and who you're giving what in your life. Like what is the register? Who's taking what from you? How much emotional energy are different people getting? It might be surprising when you actually take time to consider it in the second week of November. It might really surprise you. Like the conscious mind can associate things really quickly. So you get a bad feeling and it automatically associates it to something, and it sometimes is not always correct. So for example, if you maybe have misalignment in your spine and your lower back is out, that feeling, even if it's not like the worst pain you've ever had, might lead you to associate some type of issue with your relationship, when it's like your back that's out and you need a chiropractor and there's nothing that the relationship can do to compensate for it. So definitely looking at compensations, definitely looking at what is causing what, what is the source of this benevolence or this difficulty. What are the sources? It's a great time to find the source of things in the second week. Third week, you've got the Hierophant rooted down by 3 of Cups. So yes, you are meeting people with similar thoughts, okay? You are meeting people with similar spiritual pursuits. So for some of you, this looks like maybe some type of religious practices or some kind of ritualistic practices that you might have in common with other people. It's very like churchly vibes there. It also feels like celebrations to me. So having had Mars go direct and getting so much more healthy by the middle of the month, you come into the third week feeling more celebratory, and maybe you're really connecting with Source and celebrating how far you've come. Why not involve other people in it? Why not celebrate others too, or have others celebrate you? It feels great to just be celebratory and to enjoy that time. So week number 4, Aries, you have 6 of Swords rooted down by Queen of Cups. So it's so clear in November what is a hassle and what is too difficult. You know, are there a lot of people like relying on you to steer the boat? You know, are there a lot of people who are not self-sufficient or not able to make their own decisions, who are hoping that you'll make decisions for them? That way you're liable for the decisions, and you're the one who, if things go wrong, it comes back on, you know? I would really watch out for that as an Aries. You can sometimes have like more control than you need, or have, you know, more liability than you need as well. And everybody should consider that right now. Like, what is my liability in like this relationship or in these groups of thought, you know, like what am I bringing on for myself? And rooted down by Queen of Cups, it's so emotional. You do have King and Queen of Cups coming up this month. So it's a very strong emotional melding that you're having. So a strong marriage of emotion, or a strong connection in how you're leveling up emotionally. So finally connecting the dots, finally understanding what caused you to go through this or that chapter emotionally. And through that, you want to then make a change. And the 6 of Swords energy comes through, and it's like you want to really sail into a different territory. Just bear in mind like what weight you're sailing with, like what weight is on the boat. You know, that's what we always have to consider with 6 of Swords. And also, what is the strength of the boat too? Like 6 of Swords says that there might be a few issues, or there might be some things that we're carrying with us that threaten the stability of the boat, and we don't want to capsize and sink. Okay, so it's not that that's where you guys are, but it's like learning how to think this way and how to make sure that there is stability and strength in your current path forward. But overall, Aries, I feel like you're going to come out of the month in such a nicer place, and you're learning so much about the liabilities of your life. And through that, you're making yourself that much stronger and that much more unbreakable. And yeah, you're really getting a strong resolve. You're really getting less and less vulnerable in a good way. And other than that, just keep mindful about what feels difficult this month, what's frustrating, what are people wanting or feeling entitled to from you, and what changes are you wanting to make. It's so good to think about all of those things. But overall, it's kind of a transitional month for you guys. It's not that crazy, other than Mars changing to direct in your sign. Other than that, I think you guys have just a kind of a jovial and humorous time. And keep it easy, keep it fun, keep it simple. November is not meant to be super make or break. November is meant to kind of be easy reclaiming and easy understanding of the facts and what lays ahead. So with that in mind, Aries, I'm going to put together an extended reading for you guys on Patreon if you want to check it out. As always, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube make my day. And let me know in the comments below how the reading was for you. And if you enjoyed it and want to see more, I'm going to get a central theme and 2 supporting themes for you over on Patreon. I definitely recommend the Patreon page. It's such a fun way to come and experience the community. And I do weekly forecasts aside from these readings over there that are just over there. So check it out. I'll link it in the center of the screen and below. Thank you so much, Aries. We'll talk soon. Much love. Bye.